Hey guys, welcome back to another Dokkan Battle video, and today we are going to be discussing the new Ultimate Gohan and the Awakened Piccolo. So obviously, if you guys have not seen the Dokkan Now live stream that happened earlier today, basically went through the details of the LRs that we're going to be having from Ultimate Gohan and the Piccolo. And currently right now, there's a lot of mixed reviews with, well, I would say more negative reviews than it should be, in my opinion, which I will discuss in a later video. But yeah, the reception has not been well received by these two at all. I think, from my understanding, more people are going to be summoning. Well, more people were hyped for the Ultimate Gohan, and then it did not really. It basically didn't land the way his kit is built. But we're going to be discussing the details of Ultimate Gohan, Piccolo Power Awakened, and then Orange Piccolo, Pan, and the Trunks teen and Goten teen. So just want to clarify something, that my voice is still a bit sore, still a bit ill. But other than that, let's just get back into the video. Okay, so first of all, this is going to be a discussion video. I mean, no, this is going to be a details video. So I'm going to be listing out the details of each of the units, and then I'm going to be sending out another video later today, basically giving you guys my honest opinion about what the situation is in Dokkan. So if you do want to stick to that, please stay tuned. But first of all, let's look at the detail of Ultimate Gohan. And first of all, he is a superheroes or hybrid Saiyans category basically leader of 170, 3 key 170, and then plus an additional 30% to stats for characters who also belong to the bond of parent of child or movie heroes category. So that is his 200% lead. So if I'm not mistaken, all the Gohans are going to be in this team, so that's a good way to go about it. So his passive skill activates the entrance animation once only, and attack and defense 100%, and guards all attacks for 3 turns from the start of turn when there is another bond of parent to child category ally on the team at the start of the character's attacking turn. So yeah, okay, he gets guard for 3 turns, which is decent. Attack and defense 150% plus an additional key 1 per key sphere obtained. Okay. Plus an additional attack and defense 30% with each super attack performed up to 150%. All right. So what? Okay. So launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack when key is 20 or more. Attacks effective against all types when activating the active skill or when key is 24. High chance of nullifying Ki Blast super attack directed at the character. So, in all, he needs to perform 5 super attacks, and maybe on his second turn he could potentially. So this is the awkward bit. So in his second turn or his second rotation, that would be technically the 3rd turn at that point, from the start of turn. So that means he can get the maximum 400% of both his entrance animation and his full passive if he super attacks 5 times. But that's only 400% on his 12 key. So what's his 12 key looking like? So you can activate when all allies attack. So this is active skill. So special beam cannon can activate when all allies attacking in the same turn or superheroes category characters, starting from the 3rd turn from the start of battle. Okay, or when facing one enemy starting from the 6th turn from the start of battle once only. He greatly raises attack temporarily and causes ultimate damage to enemy. Disables enemy's action once within the turn. Okay. What's his 12 key and 18 key? So greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. Cool. and causes colossal damage with a medium chance of stunning the enemy. Greatly, and his 18 key is greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to enemy, and lowers attack and defense. And I think that is it. In all honesty, guys, I think it's a bit lackluster. It isn't. I wouldn't say he's trash. He's actually still a very good unit in comparison to majority of this unit. But you have it's a. The thing is, we're going off by details. We don't actually have in-game like numbers. So once I understand the in-game numbers, then I can fully gauge how well this guy operates. But in first impressions, I think he's actually a very good unit. It does take quite a lot to build up. So I'm guessing, let's say for example, in later stages of Red Zone, he's actually a very capable unit. But he doesn't have any defensive capabilities other than the high chance of nullifying Ki Blast super attack directed at this character, which is pretty decent because obviously majority of bosses are have Ki Blast super attacks. But the guard for 3 turn start of turn is probably where he will perform the best defensively. Afterwards, you lose the attack and defense 400%. And you lose guard after 3 turns. And that point, if he's fully built up, it's 150 attack and defense plus another 150, which is, from the wording, it's a multiplicative buff. So it's not just 300%, it's like more than 300%. It's 150 over the 150 that's already been given. And then he greatly raises attack and raises defense on 12 key. That's not great. Okay. For 1 turn. And then he greatly raises attack and defense for 1. Okay, so guys. Obviously, I don't want this video to go too long. Honest opinion, I think this guy is a very good unit. I can see why people are hating on this guy because I wouldn't say he is the best unit that's going to be coming out. Maybe he's a top 10 LR. Again, you need to gauge exactly what numbers this guy is going to be dishing out defensively and offensively. But in terms of a first slot unit, he's not great, but he is good for as a second or a floater. Hopefully Piccolo is good as a first slot unit. Just to let you guys know, his active skill does basically make him transform. So he transforms into Beast Gohan and does the special beam cannon. That's his active skill. And I want to touch about that in terms of why we don't have a standalone Beast Gohan as of yet, and potentially we could get one in the future, but that's for a later video. Yeah, I honestly, guys, I don't think he's that bad. I generally don't think he's that bad. He's more of a second or third slot unit. He is not a first slot unit, and I don't expect every unit or new unit that comes out to be a first slot unit. That's just my honest opinion. Next, we have Piccolo Power Awakened. So he is a giant. So he does transform into Orange Piccolo giant form, but this guy's super attack first is Superheroes or Battle Wits category. 3 key, HP attack and defense 170, and plus an additional 30% on stat for characters who belong in the Bond of Master and Disciple or Movie Heroes category. So his passive skill activates the entrance animation once only, and attack and defense 100% and guards all attacks for 3 turns from the start turn when there is another Bond of Master and Disciple category ally on the team at the start of the character's attacking turn. So same as Gohan. So attack and defense 150%, again same as Gohan, plus an additional key plus 1 per key sphere obtained, so similar to, basically the same as Gohan at that point. Okay, so this is where they differentiate. Reduces damage received by 20%, great. Plus an additional attack and defense 30% with each attack received up to 150%. That's because he has the guard, that's going to help a lot. All allies 2 key within the same turn after receiving an attack. So you want him to be a first slot unit. Ooh, okay. If HP is 30% or less at the start of the character's attacking turn, after the character receives an attack 7 or more times in battle, fully recovers HP once only, plus an additional damage reduction of 30% starting from that turn. So it's an additional damage reduction. So that means he will, after reviving or, yeah, basically after recovering the HP, he will basically have 50%. This kind of sucks because that's not like a revival skill. I wish that was a revival skill. Yeah, this Piccolo, yeah, with that wording, it should have been a revival skill, but it's like it's basically what the INT LR perfect cell is when he once HP is 30%, he gets full health HP, and then, well, he transforms into what do you call it, LR, well, super perfect cell basically. His active skill is giant form, so can activate when all allies attacking in the same turn are superheroes category characters, starting from the 3rd turn from the start of battle, or when facing one enemy starting from the 6th turn from the start of battle. I think that's also similar to Gohan's. Oh, okay. So so Piccolo is the 12th key is basically the opposite of Gohan, so he greatly raises defense and raises attack for one turn and causes mega colossal damage with a medium chance of stunning the enemy. Cool. Raises attack and defense for one turn, causes mega colossal damage enemy, and lowers attack and defense. Okay. Oh. Honestly, guys, I think this Piccolo is so much better than Gohan because you have the full HP recovery, you have damage reduction, and it's a consistent damage reduction. He gains the buff by receiving an attack, but because you are going to be guarding for the first 3 turns, it would, and on top of that you have a 20% damage reduction, and with LR stats and defensive buff, this guy is going to be a tank for the first 3 turns. In those first 3 turns, you want to put him in the first slot so he can gain, so he needs basically 5, he needs to receive 5 attacks to get the full 150% buff. And then he also buffs the allies, your teammates, by 2 key once receiving an attack. So I'll be honest with you, Piccolo is actually very decent. He's actually a very good unit. Just Awakened Piccolo is actually a very good unit, and he does transform into a giant, which goes into Orange Piccolo. So let's see what he does. Same leader skill, fine. Receives an additional 2 key per key sphere obtained. Launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super. Cool. He greatly raises attack temporarily and causes destructive damage to enemy. And then his 18 key, he massively raises attack temporarily and causes destructive damage to enemy. So, okay, so Piccolo, in all fairness, he's actually a very good unit. And I can actually classify him as a top 10 LR. I think there is a good chance that this guy is probably better than most of the LRs that are currently in the game. In terms of recent LRs, again, I can't make a solid judgment on that because we don't have the we don't have basically his offensive and defensive stats like in game. But overall, he is so much better than Gohan. I can give you that. He is a lot better than Gohan. He is a lot better than Gohan. Okay, Pan. We got Kid Pan here. Bond of parent and child category, 3 key HP attack and defense 130%. So Pan, 2 key attack and defense 150. Superheroes category allies, 1 key and 30%. Plus an additional 1 key and 20% attack and defense for characters who belong to the Bond of Parent and Child or Bond of Master and Disciple category. Medium chance of evading enemies' attack, including super, plus an additional chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack plus 30 when facing only one enemy at the start of turn. launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack when facing 2 or more enemies at the start of turn, plus an additional attack and defense 100% and high chance of performing a critical hit for 4 turns after evading an attack. Okay, this pan is actually pretty decent. This pan is actually very good. So she raises attack and defense for 1 turn on a super attack and high chance of stunning the enemy. What is she? She's a... Okay, so she's actually an int unit. So she's built in with 60% of dodging. All honesty, guys, I would give her max dodge in her hidden potential, and I'll give her like basically dodging, like was it dodging skill orbs? Like she's going to be dodging for days, guys. This is actually a very this is actually a very, very good yeah, she's actually a very, very good banner unit. From her wording, it seems like she has that built-in 60% to dodge if you're facing one enemy. And then obviously you have your hidden potential dodge, and then your what do you call it? The skill orbs to dodge as well. So those skill orbs adds on to the hidden potential, and I think the hidden potential is going to be acting different to the passive skill. So you have two ways to proc it from the way it's worded. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Put it in the comments. But Pan is actually a very decent unit. Yo. Okay, Pan is going to be dodging for days, and she's supporting superheroes and Bond of Parent Child and Bond of Master and Disciple. I want to know who is going to be in this, where she's getting the full 2 key and 50% attack and defense to those allies. Look, yo, Pan is actually decent. She has built-in crits, cool. But you want to work on her defensively. She's actually a very decent unit. I think she's probably one of my favorite in terms of banner units. She's probably up there as like the top banner unit. Like I would say she's probably up there with Recruitment Guldo and Piccolo, from the Worldwide Celebration. Yeah, I have to see on that. Lastly, we have Trunks Teen and Goten Teen. So I'm glad that actually they're getting an art card. So that's actually pretty decent. That's actually really, really good. The Bond of Friendship category 3 key, HP attack and defense 130. The passive skill randomly changes AGL key spheres to key spheres of another type. Okay. Attack and defense 100%, plus an additional attack and defense 10% when performing a super attack per superheroes category ally on the team. So they are restricted to having superheroes as a category, plus an additional attack and defense 100% with 3 or more key spheres obtained, which is good because they can change orbs, and it's not specifically catered to AGL key spheres, so that's great. Plus an additional defense 50% and high chance of performing a critical hit with 5 or more key spheres obtained, plus an additional attack 50% and great chance of launching an additional super attack with 7 or more key spheres obtained. 7 is actually quite a lot, you know, guys. I'm not gonna lie. 7 is actually quite a lot. It's basically like the Sin Shenron that came out with the Super Saiyan 4 duos in the anniversary. So so you're not changing it into Rainbow Orbs, and I feel like Rainbow Orbs will help these two get the 7 pieces, but you're changing to another. Oh no, it changes AGL key spheres to key spheres of another type. Sorry, my bad. It's not changing into AGL. It's changing the AGL ones into another. Okay. Oh, because you have 2 restrictions, right? You have a restriction of performing in a superhero team, category team, and I feel like that's also the same for Pan. Pan is also a superhero support. But she's also part of this, so she's not technically debuffing herself, whereas these guys are. You have to be in a superhero category ally, superhero team basically. So you get a maximum of 70%. And then his here's another restriction you would say is his amount of piece field thing. I'm not raise attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to enemy. They're alright, guys. As in, like, they're actually a very good unit. But in terms of what we got right now, in terms of the scope of Red Zone, in terms of the higher difficulties and the units that we are getting, this is alright. It reminds me of Gohan and Krillin, because they're actually decent, but in comparison to the Piccolo, yeah, in comparison to Piccolo, they're actually not as good. Okay, but there you go. Those are the details for the units that's going to be coming out. So we have Ultimate Gohan, we have Piccolo himself, Power Awakened. We have Orange Piccolo, who is the giant form of the Piccolo Awakened. We have the Kid Pan as a banner unit, and then we also have Trunks, Steed, and Goten. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, I'll give you guys my honest opinion afterwards. But in terms of first impressions, I think Orange Piccolo is actually very good. I think Orange Piccolo is like perfectly sound. It's a good unit. Gohan, I need to see his numbers. I really need to see his numbers. Pan is actually okay. I'll be honest with you guys. Pan is probably one of my favorite ones out of the batch that's came out for this superhero. Only because Pan is like defensively very capable. But Gohan, Trunks, Speed, and Goten team, they're a bit underwhelming. I would say they're a bit underwhelming. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please smash the like button, and I'll just catch you guys in the next one. Peace.